So advertising, we are discussing this, it intensifies competition, unnecessary competition, necessary competition, and presents fewer choices to consumer. Consumers have no choices. Okay, there are fewer, not more choices. So when you are advertising, you should also know that apart from this ability, chance to make you sell your products or your services, you are also to encounter some disadvantages like expenses, vulgar language, sexuality, um, media contents, and programming. Yeah, like this one. It's very important for us. Advertising negative influences media contents and programming. It does. If you're advertising with a newspaper, it will be very difficult for that newspaper to attack you if you're an institution or media house. Because it's like biting the hand that feeds you. Okay. In newspapers, radio, or TV, I'm talking about independent media, which depends for their revenue from advertising. The relationship between a newsroom and the advertising department is normally one of friction. It's frictional because the advertisers they want it to maintain a client, sustain a client, to continue advertising. While the newsroom they are more focused on um, trying to write a story about wherever it comes from, whether you're an advertiser or not. Okay. Okay, so let's look also at the benefits of planned advertising. Um, okay. Before we start listing the the benefits, we should know that when effectively and professionally planned, okay, advertising is better placed to meet the needs of its customers. If it is well uh, planned, that's effective and professional, so it can meet the needs of customers, consumers, and stakeholders. So first, other things being equal, advertising enables successful um, execution that is culminating in the profitable marketing of the advertised product. It does. In other words, we are saying advertising is a tool for marketers, isn't it? It's one of the tools for marketing. So, and it meets the socio-economic needs of consumers whose standard of living is enhanced. When you hear about a good phone in town, or a good hairstyle, or a good laptop, you strive to make money to buy that, isn't it? If you see an advert on a beautiful car, even if you don't have enough money, you will say, let me save so I can buy the car, isn't it? Or let me save I can have a house. So that's what the main, it can also enhance uh, standard of living of people. And it also is a source of revenue for media houses. Without advertising, media houses have no money, especially the private media, which are financed from their own profits. So these have to come from adverts. Okay. Okay. So these points have been summarized as follows. Um, so when you have planned your advert, you make sure that the product must be qualitative. Mhm. That's uh, that is not quantitative. When you say qualitative, it's qualitative, isn't it? It must be able to provide a qualitative an explanation that not dependent on numbers or figures, but an impression, right? A good impression. Yeah. a good description, and it should have what we call distinguished features. Somebody should be able to distinguish the advert. Okay. Okay. So it must be realistic, um, and it must have a given time frame. The advertisement says last year or 2 years ago. It can't be. You cannot be using the same over and over. You have to improve it and change it, isn't it? Okay. And they should be able to reach the target market. You're not advertising to everybody. For example, you cannot be advertising in the village or Malaya village, telling those farmers to buy the latest phone, isn't it? No. Okay. So it must have a uniform standard quality. Okay. So planning provides advertising practitioner the opportunity to improve. Okay. To have leverages. Okay. So briefly, that's what we need to know about advertising. Uh, Before you move in, now we and going in detail. That's about process of advertising. What is it that's involved? What's the process? Okay. We should know that advertising is a process, a profession, and industry. Okay. So this is the quality that distinguishes it from other fields. So it's a process, a profession, and an industry. It is both an art and science. Okay. What do we mean when it's both an art and science? When we say it's a science, it means it follows certain steps. Steps that you can do, Mary can do, I can do. And okay. But when it's an art it means it's qualitative, qualified. Depends on the kind of talent that goes into producing an advert. I may not repeat, even if two people, okay, people like dancing, you can dance on a piano today, now, and marry together, right? Both will be dancing, but you will see difference, isn't it? But the same steps. That's an art. You can somebody will do something different, the same thing but differently. Okay. So when we say so when we the process of an advert or advertising, it ensures the involvement of all necessary stages to guarantee the success of advertising. Okay. So it is crucial that we have to understand these processes. Okay. So the first step is what we call conceptualization. Conceptualization is this is the very first step. In everything you do, you have first know how to conceptualize. This is what we call mental exercise, uh, where you create mental picture of the product, which is involved. Okay, mental picture. For example, when we go with Sapir, you still remember the class, isn't it? Even if you're not here, you still remember in memory. What is a mental picture? Something that's in the brain. You don't see it, and like, okay. When we say mental picture, we also call it ideation. Idea. Okay, so this is an idea. Ideation, which takes form of visualization. You see, yeah, you can see your bed where you sleep. You're here, isn't it? So this is just an idea. Um, so it's visualization or visualizing the structural and physical outlook of the production and stages of the advertising. Okay. Um, so, um, when we say advertising, and here we are referring to advertising agency, isn't it? It means the client is, if you have chosen a Karun production, and for this institution, University of Leon, the Karun is the agency, and University of Leon is what? Is a client who's going to meet the cost of advertising, isn't it? Okay, that's we're discussing in that framework. Um, so the source of the product, the client, or maybe a producer, manufacturer or marketer of the goods and services, provides all available information on the product. What's the product? This is the product. So this may include target market and the demographic and psychographic features, raw materials, production processes, attributes and qualities, competitive environment, okay, pricing policy, promotion exercises, distribution, among others. Okay, that's need to be understood briefly. That's the how advertising must be started. Then, before you go to planning, the other stage is research. Okay. So here, uh, it's a vital stage, especially when the client has not given you enough information. So you, through investigations and data collection, the advertising agents sources sufficient information with which the product will be advertised. So you have to say, well, let's do some research and find out more about this product or service. So we can pick the most important information that would be attractive enough to the consumers or clients. So after research, that's when you go now to planning. Um, what do we mean by planning? So this stage is where all the critical management or managerial decisions pertaining to the effective and professional advertising and marketing. Managerial decisions, okay, that's pertaining to the effective and professional advertising and marketing of the product are made. Okay, so we have a list of some of these. Number one, budgeting. Based on the information got from the collected data, fund is appropriated to various stages of the advertising campaign. Okay, at this stage, what do we do? So there are several stages. Yeah? Okay, so planning involves number one, there must be budgeting. Number two, copywriting. Um, This involves the scripting and visualizing of the advertising message. Okay. This involves the scripting you are writing down, that's scripting, and visualizing of the advertising message. Maybe you're using graphs, you're using pictures, okay, or tables. Whether whether it is to be channeled through the print or electronic media, jingles or commercials. Then three, that is part of planning, that is recruitment. So at this stage, you're looking at who should talk. Some people would like maybe a football player. You have heard a football player on the radio, maybe, okay, or on TV, recommending how good a tablet of soap is very good, or some food very good. So it could be actors, footballers, musicians, or celebrities who train or rehearse and finally perform as personas of the advertisement. So why do we use those people? Well, they can attract the viewer or readers or listeners, Yeah. Um, we also have, one part of planning, we also have what we call media selection. So media selection, that's you decide which media to use. Should we go for radio? And then which radio? Should we go for TV? Which TV? Should we go for newspapers? Which newspaper? Should we go for local? Yes, local. That is word of mouth. Uh, okay. Okay. Um, then we have. So those were 4 points on the planning, budgeting, copywriting, recruitment, media selection. Okay, next let's talk about production. Okay. So the advertisement is finally produced. So these entail, for instance, in the case of a television commercial, shooting, coverage and editing, and packaging of the commercial. For others, like jingles, print adverts, billboards, newspapers, magazines, the actual production takes place at this stage. Okay. So, some when you're shooting, coverage, editing, and packaging for the commercial, it means you're doing your advert, isn't it? Messaging. But for others, when you know that you're going to take, you are thinking like jingles, print adverts, billboards, newspapers, magazines, or posters. You also need another stage to have better output. Okay, placement and scheduling. What do you understand by that? Chance, placement and scheduling.
I think think it's the deciding whether you want to place your adverts.
Yes, that's right. That's arrangements are made and agreements reached between the advertising agency and the chosen media on the time. That is spaces, frequency, and cost of publishing the advertising messages. Right? Yeah. Okay, we have also monitoring and supervision, what means the agency does not make payments to media organization and go home to relax. No. You don't just say, we have paid, go and advertise, go and air our advert. So the dutiful supervision is done. They do it to ensure that the advertisements are carried as and when scheduled and according to specifications.
That's another stage.
Yes, monitoring and supervision. Okay. So what means once you have paid for advert, make sure you follow. Did it come on time? Was it quite clear? Yes? Okay. So arrangements, that is no. Agencies do not make payments to media organization and go home to relax. No. Dutiful supervision is done to ensure that the advertisements are carried as and when scheduled and according to specifications. So in the event of any mistake or error, mistakes or error, not error, reports are made for possible reruns. Okay. So when you have done evaluation and supervision, the last stage you do what we call evaluation. You have to evaluate. So this is the stage of stock taking. I just says here appraise, review, and assess the level of success or failure of the entire campaign program. Let's evaluate. Let's see. Each of these stages is cardinal to the attainment of the goal of the advertising campaign and must therefore be strictly adhered to. Already, it is important. So, the outcome of this analysis determines the future actions of the stage. So, you see, how did you advertise? Was it successful or not? And then you decide to improve on the next stage. Okay. So, each of these stages is cardinal to the attainment of goal of advertising campaign. Those stages mentioned above, right? There are 8. We have mentioned them 8. So it's during planning that managerial inputs into the campaign are made, hence underlying its importance. So these we have uh, conceptualization, brief or advertising brief, all it is. Right? Number 3, research. Then there's number 4, planning. 5, production. 6, placement and scheduling. 7, monitoring and supervision. And then number 8, evaluation. Yeah. Right. Just